So, hello, Amy, and thank you
Hi.
so much for joining us. Um, Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I wrote my answers down. I'm married. I have 5 kids. My husband had 3 kids when I met him, and I had one. And I thought, wow, 3 kids is a lot. And then we had one of our own. Now we have 5. We have 3 dogs. We love dogs. I feel like I'm saying a lot. I love the outdoors, camping. We just bought a little pop-up camper for the summer. Kayaking. We have 3 kayaks, and we're just very outdoorsy. Country, like rural area. We live by an apple orchard, so yeah.
Cool. And can you tell me how you felt about your skin before you tried Sabbatical Beauty, and how did you feel about the products you were using at the time?
I felt very about my skin. My skin's been I've had a really hard time with my skin most of my life. In high school, I just broke out terribly bad. And we tried everything that you could buy over the counter. My dad, we bought everything and nothing seemed to work. And then after school, I tried from Proactive to Rodan and Fields is the last thing I was using prior to coming to Sabbatical Beauty. And I was, quote unquote, happy with it, but in my mind, like drying out my skin was what was winning. Because I felt like controlling the oil and the acne my skin had to be completely dried out. So I would not be breaking out, but then I'd put makeup on it. I'd have like these dry, crusty patches like all over my face because there was like no in between.
Yeah.
So I never thought that there was really anything that was going to work per se, especially an oil cleanser. Like that absolutely blew my mind. Like,
yeah,
no idea. I had never heard of it before until I saw it on here. So.
And what were your biggest fears and struggles about trying new skincare lines?
Well, my biggest fear was that my skin would get worse. I was afraid, it would just break out terribly bad. And like I said, I'd been using Rodan and Fields, and that's like $250, kind of like a month-ish. And I was seeing decent results, even though it was very drying. And my fear was I was just going to break out like crazy, and I was going to have, crazy red spots all over. My struggles once I started using it was just getting into the routine and understanding how to use it best for me. Because even though the best thing about the community is that people answer questions, but I know that you got to kind of tweak it for yourself. Like everybody has things that work better for them, and the way that they do it. So I think getting in that routine is the hardest part to start.
And I think bringing to the fact that nothing was really working for you and you were scared to try other things, I think that's why so many women give up with skincare, and they just like don't have expectations anymore.
I had completely just like, this is my lot in life. Like it doesn't really matter anymore. My mom used to have me smear egg yolks on my face because she told me that was like this cure-all. And so like every night I was smearing egg yolks on my face, and it didn't do any good. I've smeared many things on my face that most people probably don't want to smear on their face. But it was just like, somebody'd say, oh, this works, and you'd try it. And it just,
yeah. And how did you find out about Sabbatical Beauty?
Facebook. Like random, weird, don't even know how I found it. I think it was more like a political thing, and I ended up,
oh wow,
it was like down like a rabbit hole type weirdness, and I found it, and so I asked to join, and I just hung out for a while. I think it was only like a week or two because I'm not a very quiet person. But I was like watching it, and I had no idea. I almost left the group right away because I was like, what are these people talking about? Because they abbreviated everything,
Yeah.
I'm just like, what is this? And, and I had no idea at first what people were talking about. But I just stayed around and kind of watched and listened, and that's when I figured out what they were talking about.
How long have you been in the group?
Since January.
Okay.
So I started in January, but a lot of times when people would abbreviate things, then I went to the website and I would look up what they're talking about, because I didn't know what like VCCO, like I was just like, I don't know what they're talking about. So I'd go over there and I'd find what they're talking about, and then I'd go back and, so I'd reference a little bit.
And then everything made sense.
Well, kind of.
Yeah, 'cause sometimes people use different abbreviations for different things. Like I've seen Asian Powerhouse abbreviated in different ways, and
Yeah.
same with
Yeah.
the donkey milk gel. So what made you decide to try Sabbatical Beauty?
It was the Facebook community. I mean, the reviews are all amazing online, obviously. I went through and read them, and even like a quote unquote bad review wasn't necessarily a bad review. It was just, it didn't work for me because of this reason.
Right.
I felt like everybody was very ethical and like conscientious of the way they spoke about the products and the quality of them, and just listening to people talk to each other on the Facebook community is what really sold me on it. I was like, you know what, I'm going to just try it and see what happens. But I was really taken aback by the cleansing oil. Like, to me, it's amazing. And I've tried to tell some of my friends, and it's very different if you've never tried it before to even say, oh yeah, it's a cleansing oil. And they're just like, you know, it doesn't make sense to your head, but it works. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's if you've never actually experienced it, it is hard to describe to someone.
Yeah.
And to have them understand.
You think it's going to make your skin worse. Like if you have oily skin and you use a cleansing oil, it's going to make your skin oilier. Well, that's what I thought. The first time I put it on, I thought, dear Lord, what have I done? You know, and I'm just like, tomorrow I'm going to break out and look like a pizza. And it was, you know, it's completely different from that.
What results did you hope to see with Sabbatical Beauty, and did you achieve those results?
I think the biggest thing that bugged me about my face was I have really, really large pores, and I've tried many different things over the years. And Clinique like promises smaller pores. Like Clinique, you know, last time I was in there, they're like, oh, well, if you use this, we have it, you know, patented that it's the pore minimizing. And basically I'm just like shoving like things in my pores to conceal them, which is understandable for makeup, but it's not a cleanser. It's not something that's going to try and like actually shrink my pores. So my blackheads and pores on my nose were always very large. And I had a lot of scarring like on my cheeks and things like that. My skin was very inconsistent from oily to dry. And I'd have, you know, red and kind of pasty white. I'm redhead, so my skin's really fair. I have a lot of freckles, especially in the summertime. But I think that I was hoping for consistency, like maybe something that would help with oil control. I can't remember a day that I would go and not have oily skin by the time I come home from work, you know, and since I started using Sabbatical Beauty, I don't have that issue at all. Like I do not have oily skin at all, which is amazing because I never thought that would happen.
That's a huge change though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And, you know, for someone who doesn't have oily skin or who has never had oily skin, they don't realize how life-changing that is.
Yeah, I mean, I could take a piece of paper towel, or not paper towel, anything, and you just press it on your face and you'll see the oil come out of your pores. And it's funny because I saw a comment someone had wrote online on Sabbatical Beauty on the Facebook page, and they asked about the Bethany charcoal mask, which I absolutely love. And she said, I feel like it's like she had streaks coming out. It did that for me at first too. Like when I put the Bethany charcoal mask on, it literally pulled the oil out of my pores. And if I left the mask on for longer than the allotted amount of time, you could see it like literally pulled out of the pores, like the oil come out. So that, yeah, it's weird.
It's amazing though, to see a product work right in front of your eyes.
Oh yeah.
So different than the products that we used to use.
Yeah, like Clearasil.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I mean, it was like a matter of 3 days, and I saw a difference in my skin. 3 days, and I saw a difference in my pore size and my nose and everything like that. So.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And now that you've integrated Sabbatical Beauty into your regimen, how do you feel about your skin?
I'm actually happy. Like I went from really disliking and just being like, whatever, this is it, this is whatever. And if I'm going to go out, I'm going to put a ton of makeup on. I never really wore makeup during the day anyway, because I'm kind of that, like, I don't want to say I'm a hippie, but I just am like, I would do myself up to go out, but for work and things like that, I don't. And now I feel more confident about it. Like I'm not worried about my skin. I'm actually hopeful, and I feel like I get up in the morning and I'm like, ooh, I wonder what, how how it's going to look today. And I'm not afraid that I'm going to be breaking out. The consistency of my skin is a lot better. I'm not oily. I'm not dry. My skin is really soft, like super soft compared to what it used to be. And it's really, yeah, it's unbelievable. The difference. Yeah.
And so many people tell us that they find the Sabbatical Beauty Facebook community one of the best parts of the brand. What has been your experience in the community?
I love it. You guys probably know that. Yeah, I love it. I think the people there are very genuine and they're very kind. I like the fact that the company stands for something it's a great company, and the people that are in the Facebook group are just awesome. I love it. That's the reason I tried the products, because, no, they're not cheap. They're not. But at the same time, it's like I went from using Rodan and Fields, which wasn't cheap either, and when you are trying anything and you go in and you see these reviews and you talk to these people and you can ask them questions and they tell you their honest feedback, nobody's sugarcoating anything. They're like, oh, well, you might purge or this might happen. They're going to tell you the truth. And I really find it refreshing that it's a community of like actual women from like all walks of life, and they just come together. And I know it's not all women, but a lot of times those are the people that are talking in the Facebook group. But just, yeah, it's a great group of people.
Yeah. I love them too.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
I find myself, that's the first place I go when I open my Facebook, is I go straight to the group page. And it's a great way to start the day. And it's pretty much how I end my day too.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like I have all my friends in my pocket.
Yeah, I know. I'm always like, I want to go to Singapore someday and meet Carol. Like, I'm just like, I have these, I'm like, these people are so cool and they just inspire me. And yeah, I really, really like that.
Okay, this is a fun one. If you were an SB product, which one would you be?
Well, I'm going to go with the Sleeping Beauty oil because it is very unique. And the first time I got it, I thought, what is this? This is the weirdest stuff ever, because it's like black. And I tried it, and the smell is really strong and it's really unique, but it's a phenomenal product. It's amazing. I wouldn't go without it now. I absolutely love it. I have a hard time now because I got the spring box, and it's like incorporating all these other things into the routine that I had gotten myself into. So I'm like, oh, what am I going to try and how am I going to incorporate this? But I don't want to cut, the Sleeping Beauty oil out, and I'm trying to figure out my layering. You know how that goes.
What do you love about Sleeping Beauty oil?
I just, like, even the first day that I used it, the next day I could tell a difference in my skin. Like, my skin was really supple. It was really soft. It looked really fresh. I now, like, I'm obsessed with the smell of it. I absolutely love it. My husband's just like, it's your face stuff. Because I'm just like, oh, I love it. To me, it smells so good. It's very, like, very earthy. I guess you could say, I don't like black licorice, but it reminds me almost of like something rich like that. It's just really, it's a great product. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites as well.
I love it.
So that's all I got for you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing this for us.
No problem. I'm kind of weirded out because I don't do videos.
Well, you did really well.
I have my Fox mug and it's not coffee. I had to ease myself into it.
That's good. Warmed yourself up a little.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, you have a good night, and thank you again for doing this for us.
You too. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.